What if I told you there's an act you can do right now, without saying a single word, that has the power to completely transform the world around you? It's not a metaphor. It's a precise instruction, a secret kept for millennia that, when activated, makes your energy so magnetic that the right opportunities simply begin to appear in your life. Have you ever felt like you're striving, fighting, but it seems like nothing is moving forward, that the doors aren't opening? This happens because you're emitting a silent command of limitation to the universe, and it's simply obeying. In this video, I'm going to reveal exactly how to turn off this scarcity command and activate the frequency of your divine energy. What you'll learn here is the secret to stop chasing reality and make reality chase you. Stay with me until the end, because the step-by-step process for this transformation begins now. If you're ready to take charge, comment below. My power is silent. Every second, you send out a silent command that your cells obey like law. It's not a thought, but a frequency that determines whether your body will thrive or decline. If your life is marked by fatigue and closed doors, it's not destiny. It's the direct result of this continuous order that you unconsciously send, a vibration born from your deepest state that your body faithfully executes. This idea is not new. Ancient wisdom already taught that reality is a mirror that responds to what we emit. Modern science, through psychoneuroimmunology, confirms this. Your feelings generate chemical signals that control your biology. A state of fear dictates wear and tear, while peace signals regeneration. Your body is the direct executor of your consciousness's instructions. The problem is the contradiction in which we live. We desire health, but we vibrate with stress. We want prosperity, but our internal state is one of lack and worry. It's like driving with one foot on the brake and the other on the accelerator. A huge expenditure of energy to not go anywhere. Your cells, receiving conflicting orders, enter survival mode, which means aging and contraction. The source of this command is not in your rational mind or your desires. It resides in your dominant emotional state and your deepest beliefs, many of them unconscious. These truths that you have accepted about life form your baseline frequency, the program that runs in the background and dictates the rhythm of your biology, generating anxiety and limitation as if it were the normal state. The great revelation is that you can rewrite this command. The change, however, doesn't happen with positive thoughts while your body vibrates with fear. The source of the power isn't in your head, but in your energy, in your heart. To access and alter this fundamental programming, you first need to break the greatest illusion of all, one that steals your vital energy and keeps you trapped in a cycle of decline. The reason we feel tired and limited is an illusion we accept as truth. The idea that time is a straight line leading to decline. We've been taught that aging is inevitable, a law of physics. But this belief is the very cause of the problem. Believing it is what makes it real for your body, because it obeys your perception of reality. With each birthday or sign of age, you reinforce this belief, sending a biochemical order to your body. Your cells, which are capable of perfect renewal, receive a script for failure and begin to copy the mistakes and wear and tear. You are literally programming your body to age by accepting the cultural narrative of decline as fact. Neuroscience now suggests that aging is more of a perceptual program than a biological sentence. Your body is like software whose original code is for perpetual vitality. But the belief in linear time acts like a virus corrupting the system. Trying to fix the symptoms with diet or exercise is useless while the virus is active. The only solution is to uninstall the faulty program. The secret to reversing this is not fighting against time, but altering the perception that defines it. If aging depends on the constant memory of age, What would happen if you stopped feeding that memory? The key is to remove your consciousness from the timeline, settling into a place where the past doesn't define you and the future doesn't frighten you. A latent capacity in all of us. Your body doesn't respond to clock time, but to your psychological time. Living trapped in the past or anxious about the future accelerates aging through chronic stress. To break this self-destructive pattern, you first need to hack your nervous system, which operates on autopilot. There's a biological tool for this, a technique that uses your body's rhythm to open the door to a new reality. To break the hypnosis of time and stop sending aging commands to your body, you first need a master key, a way to interrupt the constant noise of your nervous system, which is stuck in survival mode, always reacting to the past and fearing the future. This key is not a thought, it's a physical action. It's a rhythm, an access code that you insert into your body through the most fundamental tool you possess, your breath. It is the bridge between your conscious world and the automatic functions that govern your biology. And using it correctly is the first step to taking control. We're not just talking about taking a deep breath. We're talking about a specific and precise pattern, almost like a password that unlocks a new state of being. The technique is simple, but its depth is immense. You inhale slowly, counting to 7. Then, you hold your breath, counting to 4. Next, you exhale even more slowly, counting to 8. And finally, you keep your lungs empty, in a state of stillness, for a count of 3. This cycle is not random. Each phase has a specific neurological and biochemical purpose to reprogram your system. By practicing this rhythm, something remarkable begins to happen. Your heart, which previously beat irregularly in response to stress, begins to settle into a smooth and orderly beating pattern. This state is known in science as cardiac coherence. When the heart achieves coherence, it sends a powerful signal to the brain, saying, "Everything is okay. You are safe." This message turns off the body's emergency alarm. The production of stress hormones, such as cortisol, decreases dramatically, while the production of regenerative hormones, such as DHEA, increases. This state of coherence is much more than simple relaxation. It's a state of high biological performance. Your mind becomes clearer, your intuition sharpens, and most importantly, your body stops receiving stress and wear and tear commands. It becomes like a blank canvas, fertile ground, ready to receive a new seed, a new instruction. Rhythmic breathing is not the end goal. It's the tool that opens the door. It creates the opportunity for true magic to happen, clearing the system so that the new programming can be installed without interference. Think of your nervous system as a poorly tuned radio, full of static and noise. Coherent breathing is like precisely turning the tuning knob, finding a clear and clean frequency. At this frequency, communication between your heart, your brain, and the rest of your body becomes perfect. The orders are no longer confused or contradictory. The body stops fighting against itself and begins to operate as a unified and harmonious system, focused on a single goal: balance and regeneration. It is from this state of internal order that external transformation becomes possible. Many people underestimate the power of breathing because it's automatic, but that's precisely why it's so powerful. By consciously taking control of a process that is normally unconscious, you are sending a clear message to your biology. I am in command now. You are hacking the autopilot. Each rhythmic breathing cycle is an act of power, a declaration that you are no longer a reactive passenger in your own life, but the pilot who sets the course of your journey, both internally and externally. However, simply opening the door isn't enough. Coherent breathing prepares the ground, calms the storm, and creates the necessary space for change. But what do you do in that space? What do you do when the door is open and the noise subsides? This is where the next step reveals itself. With the body finally attuned and receptive, the journey moves to an even more subtle and powerful place, the mastery of your own mind. And the secret to mastering it is not to fight against it, but to find a portal that exists within it. With your body now attuned to a frequency of coherence, the stage is set. The door has been opened by your breath, but to cross it, you need to navigate the labyrinth of your own mind. And here is the mistake everyone makes. They try to fight against their thoughts. They try to force silence, which only creates more noise and frustration. The secret is not to stop the mind. That's impossible. The secret is to find the empty spaces, the silent pauses that exist between one thought and the next. These spaces are portals to a dimension of consciousness where linear time has no power over you. Imagine your thoughts as cars passing on a busy avenue. Normally, you're in the middle of the street, almost being run over by each car, identifying with each one. The trick isn't to stop the traffic, but to step off the avenue and sit on the sidewalk. From there, you can watch the cars go by without being swept away by them. You realize that between one car and another, there's a space, a brief moment of silence. It is in this space, in this emptiness, that your true power resides. It's the 0 point, the field of pure potential before any thought defines it. Modern neuroscience is beginning to map what mystics have known for centuries. When a person manages to sustain their attention in that space between thoughts for more than 30 seconds, something dramatic happens in the brain. Brainwave activity changes radically. Beta waves, associated with stress, analytical thinking, and alertness, decrease significantly. In their place, theta and delta waves begin to predominate. These are the waves associated with deep sleep, deep meditation, and, crucially, cellular regeneration and healing. This is not a mystical state reserved for monks in remote mountains. It is a biological portal accessible to anyone willing to train their attention. By focusing on the silence between thoughts, you are effectively withdrawing your energy from the thinking machine, from the incessant narrative that binds you to the past and the future. You cease to be a prisoner of your own story. In this silence, you are not your profession. You are not your problems. You are not your age. You simply are. And in this state of pure being, you gain access to the field where new realities can be created. The conditioned mind hates silence. It sees it as a vacuum and tries to fill it immediately with more thoughts, more worries, more planning. That's why it can be difficult at first. Your mind will rebel. It will bombard you with distractions. The key is gentleness and persistence. Every time you find yourself being dragged down by a thought, simply acknowledge it and gently bring your attention back to the space, to the feeling of stillness behind the noise. Every time you do this, you weaken the power of the automatic mind and strengthen the muscle of your awareness. It is in this silence that true communication with your body takes place. When the mind is quiet, the orders of stress and limitation cease to be sent. Your body, finally free from the bombardment of negative commands, can begin to hear a more subtle and fundamental instruction. The instruction of your own innate intelligence, which knows perfectly how to heal and regenerate itself. Silence is not empty. It is full of potential. It is the quantum field from which all things emerge. By accessing this field, you position yourself at the source of creation. And when you remain in this state of conscious silence, something even deeper begins to happen. It's not just your brain activity that changes. The very energy emanating from your body begins to transform. The electromagnetic field that surrounds you, which some traditions call the aura, begins to reorganize itself. It goes from a chaotic and weak state to a coherent and brilliant state. And this change in your energy is not just a sensation. It's a physical phenomenon that emits a new form of light. A light that has the power to rebuild your body from a new blueprint. By accessing the portal of silence, you not only calm your mind, you begin to alter the very energetic substance of your being. Science is discovering that your body is not just a collection of dense matter. It is, in its essence, a field of light. Each of its trillions of cells constantly emits particles of light called biophotons. This light is not a random byproduct. It is the primary form of communication between your cells. It is a biological internet network, transmitting information at a speed that makes the nervous system seem slow in comparison. The quality of this light says everything about your state of health and vitality. In a stressed, sick, or aging body, the emission of biophotons is weak, chaotic, and disordered. The cells are screaming in a state of confusion, sending out distress signals. In contrast, in a healthy, vibrant, and coherent body, the light is bright, ordered, and harmonious. The cells communicate in perfect synchronicity, like a well-tuned orchestra, working together for the maintenance and regeneration of the entire system. Your health is, literally, a reflection of the light you emit. And here is the crucial connection. When you enter a state of silence between thoughts, the electromagnetic field around your body, your aura, undergoes a radical transformation. It ceases to be a chaotic field, drained by stress and incessant thinking, and begins to organize itself into a coherent and powerful geometric pattern. The light emission from your cells not only increases in intensity, but also in order. They begin to vibrate in unison, receiving a new instruction, a new blueprint to rebuild themselves. Imagine that each cell possesses the original blueprint for your perfect health, your divine blueprint. However, years of stress and limiting beliefs have created layers of dust and distortion over this blueprint. As your cells replicate, they copy this dusty blueprint, perpetuating error and decline. The state of conscious silence, combined with heart coherence, acts as a powerful solvent that cleans this dust. It reveals the original blueprint in all its perfection, allowing the new cells born every second to follow this model of maximum vitality. You don't need to tell your cells what to do. By generating a coherent energy field, you are providing them with the environment and information they need to do the work they already know how to do. The light you emit becomes the new architect. It carries the information of order, harmony, and vitality. Your cells, which communicate through this light, receive the clear message. The emergency is over. The command now is to regenerate, renew, and rejuvenate according to the original design. This reorganization of your light field is what people feel when they say someone has good energy or a special glow. It's not a metaphor. It's the subtle perception of a strong and coherent biophotonic field. It's the external manifestation of an internal order. By cultivating this state, you literally become a beacon of light. And this light not only heals and rebuilds your body, but also begins to influence the reality around you in ways you can hardly imagine. Now, with your body attuned, your mind quiet, and your light field activated and coherent, you are ready for the most important step. You have prepared the altar, lit the candles, and purified the temple. You are about to send the final command, the word that will seal this new reality. But for this word to have power, it needs to be emitted from this state of maximum coherence, and it needs to have a clear target, a pure intention that will guide all this energy toward a single, transformative purpose. We have arrived at the heart of the mystery, at the point of convergence of all this preparation. With your body vibrating in coherence, your mind settled in silence, and your field of light shining with order, you are now in a state of maximum creative power. It is at this moment that you will utter the word. But forget everything you know about words. This is not a phrase you whisper or shout to the world. It is a pure intention, a silent command, formulated in the center of your being, with such absolute clarity and conviction that the universe has no choice but to respond. This word is your personal logos. In ancient philosophy, logos signifies the divine principle of order and knowledge. It is the creative word. By formulating yours, you are assuming your role as co-creator of your reality. It is not a desperate plea from a place of lack. It is not a supplication to an external force. It is a calm and powerful declaration of alignment. It is you, in your purest and most coherent state, tuning into the frequency of the reality you choose to manifest. It is an act of spiritual sovereignty. What is this word? It is simple, direct, and devoid of any doubt. At the peak of your state of coherence, you internally formulate the statement, I align myself with my original perfection. Urjatofan, I am the expression of vitality and regeneration now. The exact phrase may vary, but the essence is the same. It is a statement in the present tense, affirming a truth that already exists in the field of potential. You are not trying to create something from nothing. You are aligning yourself with a version of yourself that already exists in the quantum field. The power of this word lies not in its semantics, but in the energy it carries. If you utter it from a state of doubt, fear, or need, it dissipates without effect. It's like trying to turn on a device with a dead battery. But when you utter it from the state of coherence we have built, with heart and brain in harmony and a silent mind, the word becomes a laser of intention. It carries all the force of your unified energy field and acts like a seed planted in the fertile soil of the quantum field. This silent declaration is the precise frequency that accesses the information of your maximum vitality. It is the code that unlocks your original blueprint, the one that existed before limiting beliefs and life traumas corrupted it. By declaring your alignment with this perfection, you are telling the universe and every cell in your body which version of reality you are choosing from now on. You are changing the channel of your existence, leaving the station of fear and limitation and tuning into the station of health, abundance, and freedom. This act of formulating the one word is the point of no return. It is the moment when you stop being a victim of circumstances and become the cause of your experience. It is an act of profound responsibility and power. You are no longer waiting for the world to change so that you feel good. You are changing your inner state with such conviction that the outer world will be forced to reorganize itself to mirror this new truth. The word is the catalyst, the final instruction that sets the entire machine of creation in motion. Now, the seed has been planted. The command has been given. But for the seed to germinate and the transformation to manifest in the physical world, one last act is necessary. This is the step that anchors the new reality, that brings it from the realm of potential to the realm of experience. It is the final act you must perform without saying a word, the seal that transforms intention into matter, and it is the most visceral and powerful step of the entire journey. This is the culminating moment, the act that transforms all the preparation into a new reality. You have attuned your body, silenced your mind, activated your light field, and emitted the one word. The instruction has been sent. Now comes the final act, the step that most people ignore and that makes all the difference. The act you must perform without saying a word is this. You must feel the reality of your intention as if it were already a fait accompli. It is not imagining, it is not visualizing, it is not thinking about it. It is a visceral sensation, a certainty that floods every cell of your being. Close your eyes and From that state of maximum coherence, bring the sensation of your original perfection into your body. How would it feel to be completely revitalized, full of energy, and with absolute mental clarity right now? Don't think about the answer. Feel it. Feel the strength in your muscles, the lightness in your body, the peace in your heart, the joy bubbling in your chest. Feel gratitude for this health and vitality as if you've possessed it for years. Live this emotion in the present moment with all the intensity you can muster. This act of feeling the emotion of your already fulfilled desire is the language that the body and the quantum field understand. The field doesn't respond to your thoughts or your words. It responds to your frequency, your vibration, and your vibration is determined by what you are feeling. By generating the emotion of gratitude, joy, and fulfillment before the event happens, you are becoming a vibrational magnet for that experience. You are collapsing the wave of potential into a particle of real experience. By doing this, you stop being a supplicant waiting for a miracle and become the creator who commands reality. You are no longer in the mode of asking the universe, which comes from a place of lack. You are in the mode of claiming, which comes from a place of fullness. You are teaching your body, chemically, what your new reality feels like. Your body, by experiencing this new chemistry, begins to reorganize itself to make this state its new normal pattern. Biology begins to follow the new emotional order. This is the secret behind the phrase "you become what you attract." In reality, you don't attract what you want. You attract what you already are, vibrationally. By feeling the emotion of your fulfilled desire, you become the person who already has it. And since the outer world is a perfect mirror of your inner state, reality has no choice but to bring you the circumstances, people, and opportunities that match this new vibrational identity you have assumed. The transformation isn't magic, it's physical. Your new frequency, charged by the emotion you feel, reorganizes the energy field around you. Opportunities that were once invisible to you now become obvious. The right people appear in your path. Solutions to old problems arise spontaneously. It's not luck. It's resonance. The world is simply adjusting to match the new music you're playing. You haven't changed the world. You've changed yourself, and the world has transformed as an inevitable reflection. Therefore, the final act is an act of embodied faith. It is the courage to feel gratitude for something your eyes have not yet seen. It is the wisdom to know that emotion is the precursor to experience. By mastering this step, you cease to be an effect of reality and become its cause. You become a master of manifestation, not through tricks or complex techniques, but through the simplest and most powerful of all truths. Your inner state creates your outer reality. You did not attract anything. You became the reality you desired. After feeling this new reality in every cell, you open your eyes and the first real test appears. The mirror. You look at yourself, expecting to see the transformation manifested. But the image staring back at you is the same as always. The mind, your old programmer, immediately whispers, "See? Nothing has changed. It was all imagination. This doesn't work." This is the most critical moment of the entire journey. The point where 99% of people give up and are pulled back to the old reality. They believe more in the memory of the past, reflected in the mirror, than in the new frequency they have just activated with such power. Physical reality, the world you can touch and see, has inertia. Think of it as the echo of a sound that has already been emitted. The image in the mirror is not what you are now. It is the echo of what you were. It is the physical manifestation of your old frequency, your old programming. Believing in this echo is what keeps it alive. what gives it the power to recreate itself day after day. For the new reality, the new frequency of vitality and power, to finally manifest, you need to stop giving energy to the echo. You need to break the mirror of memory. Breaking the mirror isn't a physical act. It's a shift in perception. The secret is to stop identifying with the image you see. Start observing your body not as I, but as an energy field in a constant state of renewal. Science already knows that your body replaces billions of cells every day. You are not the same person you were yesterday, physically. The question is, with what blueprint are these new cells being built? With the old blueprint, based on the memory of the mirror, or with the new blueprint, based on the frequency you have activated? The practice here is disidentification. When you look in the mirror, instead of searching for flaws or confirming the old story, simply observe. See the body as a vehicle, a biosuit inhabited by your consciousness. Thank it for its function, but don't become confused by it. Remember the feeling of vitality and perfection you have cultivated. Maintain that feeling, that frequency, even when the evidence from your eyes seems to contradict it. Your loyalty should be to your inner vision, not your outer vision. Faith is not believing what you see. It is seeing with the heart until the eyes can follow. This practice of disidentification weakens your emotional connection to your old identity. You stop defining yourself by your appearance, your age, your history. By doing so, you cut off the energy source that recreates the past. You open a space, a vacuum, so that something new can emerge. Nature does not tolerate a vacuum. If you stop filling your field with the energy of the past, the energy of your new intention, your one word, will begin to fill that space, shaping matter according to your new blueprint. It is an act of conscious discipline. Every time the mind says nothing is changing, you respond internally. The change has already happened in the energy field, and matter is merely aligning with it. You refuse to participate in the drama of doubt. You stand firm in the certainty of your new frequency, like an anchor in the midst of a storm. It is this firmness, this refusal to believe in the illusion of the mirror, that allows the new blueprint of your original perfection to finally imprint itself on your biology and appear in the physical world. But while you practice this discipline, an even deeper and silent enemy may be sabotaging all your progress. A hidden engine that fuels the aging process itself and blocks prosperity, operating in the shadows of your consciousness. And to achieve true freedom and divine energy, you need to drag this enemy into the light and confront it head-on. Even if you master the art of breaking the mirror, there's a program running deep within your operating system that acts as the silent engine of aging and stagnation. It's the hidden enemy that sabotages regeneration and blocks prosperity, the unconscious fear of death. We're not talking about the conscious thought of dying, but a primal biological terror, a survival program that's ingrained in every cell of your body. This fear is the root of almost all the chronic stress we experience. This fear is not just an emotion, it's a biological state. When the fear of the end is active, even subtly and unconsciously, it puts your entire body into emergency mode. Your cells receive a constant command: survive, conserve resources. Prepare for the end. In this state, the body has no energy to regenerate, to create, to thrive, or to heal optimally. All its vital force is diverted to the function of not dying, instead of being used for the function of living fully. It's like a country that spends its entire budget on defense and has nothing left for health, education, or infrastructure. The journey toward truly divine energy and lasting vitality requires you to confront this fundamental fear. But not with panic or resistance, which would only fuel it further. You need to face it head-on, with a calm and profound curiosity, like a scientist examining a phenomenon. The practice is to contemplate your own finitude, not as a terrible event to be avoided at all costs, but as a natural part of the cycle of existence. What is this end that we fear so much? What truly ends? By doing this, by looking at fear without identifying with it, you begin to dissolve its power over you. You realize that the fear of death is, in fact, the fear of the unknown. And by familiarizing yourself with the idea, by accepting it as a possibility instead of fighting against it, your body's emergency alarm begins to shut down. The chronic contraction of your muscles relaxes. The production of stress hormones decreases. Your cells, for the first time in a long time, receive a signal that everything is clear. When the body switches from defense mode to creation mode, an immense amount of energy is released. This is the energy that was previously spent 24/7 simply keeping fear under control, suppressing existential anxiety. This released energy becomes pure fuel for regeneration, creativity, and manifestation. Your cells, now operating in an environment of safety and peace, can finally dedicate themselves to their primary function, expressing the perfection of your original design. Dissolving the fear of death doesn't mean you become reckless or wish to die. On the contrary, it means you become so deeply passionate about life, so present in the now, that the fear of the future simply loses its relevance. You stop living to avoid death and begin to live to express life in its fullest potential at every moment. Your body stops preparing for gradual surrender and begins to operate from a principle of continuous expansion. However, even if you manage to master your inner world and confront your deepest fears, you still live immersed in an outer world that constantly tries to pull you back into old programming. You are swimming against a current of collective beliefs. And fighting that tide alone can be exhausting and eventually defeat you. That's why the next step is crucial. You need to learn how to create your own current. Your transformation, however personal, doesn't happen on an isolated island. You are immersed in an ocean of collective consciousness, a field of shared beliefs that exerts constant pressure on your biology and your perception. At every moment, you are bombarded with messages that affirm that decline, disease, and scarcity are inevitable. The media, conversations, culture, everything reinforces the old programming. Trying to maintain your new, elevated frequency while immersed in this tide of negativity is like trying to keep a fire burning in the middle of a storm. It's exhausting and almost impossible in the long run. The next step, therefore, is not to fight against the tide, but to create your own bubble of reality, your own favorable current. This doesn't mean you need to become a hermit and isolate yourself from the world. It means you need to become extremely selective about the information and energies you align yourself with. You need to consciously connect with fields of information where vitality, regeneration, and prosperity are not the exception, but the norm. You need to find your vibrational tribe. This connection can take many forms. It can be through reading ancient and sacred texts that have always kept this wisdom alive, reminding you that you are not inventing anything new, but reconnecting to an eternal truth. It can be by finding communities, online or in person, of people who are on the same journey, who can mirror and amplify your new frequency instead of questioning it. The energy of an aligned group grows exponentially, creating a force field that makes individual transformation much easier and faster. Even the silence of nature is a powerful field of resonance. Nature operates entirely from the principle of life, renewal, and balance. Spending time in a forest, near the ocean, or in the mountains, in silence, allows your energy field to attune to this pure and ordered frequency. Nature does not doubt, does not worry, it simply is. And by immersing yourself in its presence, You remember your own essential nature, clearing the distortions of social programming. By creating this bubble of reality, you are no longer alone. You are relying on a truth that is much greater than your own willpower. Every book you read, every uplifting conversation you have, every moment you spend in nature strengthens your new frequency. You are building an energetic fortress around yourself. The pressure of negative collective consciousness still exists out there, but within your bubble, the rules are different. Within your bubble, regeneration is the law. This practice of collective resonance creates a positive feedback effect. The more you connect with high vibration fields, the stronger your own frequency becomes. And the stronger your frequency becomes, the easier it is for you to attract and connect with even more aligned people and information. You begin to create your own universe, your own alternative reality, which gradually becomes more real and solid than the world of illusion you left behind. Your transformation ceases to be a struggle and becomes an inevitable flow. Now that you've learned how to protect and strengthen your new frequency, we're ready to go even deeper. A place where the very structure of time, the root cause of aging, can be completely dismantled. We're going to travel to the only point where eternity is real and accessible, the 0 point, where time doesn't exist. We've already talked about how to step outside the timeline, but now let's take it a step further. Let's go to a place where time doesn't even exist. Think about it. Where is the past? It's nowhere to be found except in your memory, which is a neurological process happening right now. And where is the future? It's nowhere to be found either, except in your imagination, which is another process happening right now. The only moment that has any reality, the only point of access to life, is the present instant, the now. But what is the now? The now has no duration. It is not a small segment of time between the past and the future. It is a dimensionless point, a portal to eternity. It is the 0 point. Within this eternal instant, all time is contained. The past and the future are merely mental projections that arise from it. By learning to anchor your consciousness in this 0 point, you effectively remove yourself from the timeline that causes aging. Your body ceases to have a reference point against which to deteriorate. How do you do this? The practice is contemplation of the eternal instant. It's a form of active meditation that you can do at any time of day. Stop for a moment and bring all your attention to the present moment. Feel the sensation of the air entering your lungs. Listen to the sounds around you without judging or naming them. Feel the energy in your hands. Immerse yourself completely in the sensory experience of now, without any story, without any mental commentary, just the pure perception of what is. By doing this, you will realize that in this very instant, there are no problems. Problems only exist when the mind travels to the past, regret, guilt, or to the future, fear, anxiety. In the pure now, there is only existence, there is only being. By establishing yourself in this perception, even if for a few seconds at a time, you are training your brain and your body to live outside the tyranny of psychological time. You are anchoring your consciousness in timelessness. When you live from that 0 point, your body begins to operate in a completely different way. It stops following the aging script, because that script depends on a timeline to exist. Instead, it begins to operate in a cycle of constant and immediate renewal, like a river whose flow is always fresh and new at every instant. You're not trying to reverse aging, you're exiting the operating system where aging is a possible program. Living in the now is not a poetic concept or a philosophical idea. It is the fundamental mechanism for becoming timeless. It is the most advanced and, at the same time, the simplest practice of all. It requires nothing more than your attention. It is your mindful attention to the present moment that collapses the illusion of time. Every moment you spend fully present is a moment in which you do not age. And the more you practice, the more this state becomes your default way of being. And when you remove the interference of the mind, which is constantly projecting the body onto a timeline of decline, something miraculous happens to your energy. The life force that was spent sustaining the illusion of the past and the future is released all at once. And this energy, now free, transforms into something that can only be described as divine. When the mind, with its incessant noise and its orders of fear and limitation, finally gets out of the way, something extraordinary happens. All the energy that was previously consumed to sustain the illusion of time, to fight internal battles, to worry about the future and lament the past, is suddenly released. Imagine a dam breaking. That is the divine energy that the title promises. It's not something mystical that you need to seek outside yourself. It's your own natural life force, finally unshackled and free to flow in its fullness. The immediate result of this release is an exponential increase in vitality that you can feel physically. It's a feeling of lightness, power, and clarity that permeates your entire being. Chronic fatigue disappears, replaced by an enthusiasm for life that you may not have felt since childhood. Creativity, which previously seemed blocked, begins to flow effortlessly. Solutions to problems simply appear in your mind because you are no longer operating from limitation, but from a field of infinite possibilities. Depression and anxiety, those two plagues of the modern mind, simply dissolve in this new state. Why? Because both depend on psychological time to exist. Depression feeds on stories about the past, and anxiety feeds on projections about the future. When you anchor your consciousness to the 0 point of now, you cut off their food source. They cannot survive in the present. In their place, a deep peace and joy arise that does not depend on any external condition. And this transformation isn't just internal. The people around you will start to notice. They may not know what you've done. They may not have the words to describe it, but they will feel the change. Your presence becomes magnetic. There's a sparkle in your eyes, a calmness in your voice, a confidence in your posture that is undeniable. Your energy speaks louder than any words. You become a beacon of coherence, and people are naturally drawn to your light, seeking the warmth and security you emanate. That glow that everyone can see is the physical manifestation of your reorganized biophotonic field. It is your inner light, now strong and coherent, shining through your physical form. You become a living example of what is possible, proof that we are not victims of circumstances or time. Your very existence becomes an inspiration, showing others that they too have the power to break free from mental prison and access that inexhaustible source of divine energy within themselves. This energy isn't just for your personal well-being. It has a powerful, practical effect on the world around you. It becomes the driving force behind your ability to create and manifest. With this reserve of vital energy at your disposal, you have the fuel you need to build the life you truly desire. You stop operating with an empty tank and start having a nuclear fusion reactor at the center of your being. And this is where the most impressive effect of all begins to unfold. With this new divine energy flowing through you, the very fabric of outer reality, which previously seemed so solid and inflexible, begins to behave in a completely new and surprising way. This is perhaps the most shocking and rewarding effect of the entire journey. The outside world, which you always perceived as something separate, solid, and often hostile, begins to reorganize itself around your new inner frequency. It's as if reality, which was once a concrete wall, transforms into a liquid mirror, instantly reflecting your state of being. Opportunities, people, and circumstances begin to align with your new energy in a way that defies logic and probability. Opportunities that once seemed scarce or completely out of reach begin to appear before you, as if out of nowhere. An unexpected job offer, a chance encounter that leads to a business partnership, an idea for a new project that emerges with all the necessary resources already available. This isn't luck, it's resonance. You've shifted your vibration, and now you're tuned into a channel of reality where these opportunities are the norm. You didn't find them. They found you because you became compatible with them. The right people start entering your life, while those who are no longer aligned with your new frequency naturally drift away without drama or conflict. You attract mentors, friends, partners, and collaborators who support and celebrate your new self, propelling you forward instead of holding you back. The universe begins to act as your personal assistant, connecting you with exactly who you need to meet at the exact moment you need to meet them. Synchronicities become a daily occurrence. You think of someone and that person calls you. You need information and open a book to the exact page that contains it. You're facing a challenge and overhear a conversation on the street that gives you the perfect solution. The world stops being a series of random events and becomes an intelligent and interactive dance. You stop fighting reality and start dancing with it, realizing that it has always been by your side, just waiting for you to tune in to the right frequency. The universe isn't rewarding you for your good behavior. It's simply responding, with the precision of a law of physics, to the new truth you have become. The law of attraction isn't about attracting what you want. It's about the universe mirroring what you are. By becoming the embodiment of vitality, abundance, and peace, the universe has no choice but to present you with a reality that corresponds to that state. External change is the inevitable side effect of your inner transformation. You realize you were never at the mercy of the world. The power to create your experience has always been within you. The difference is that now you know how to use it. You are no longer a boat adrift, tossed about by the waves of circumstance. You are the captain of your ship, with your hands firmly on the helm of your consciousness, deliberately sailing towards the destination you choose. Life ceases to be a struggle and becomes an adventure of co-creation. And as you adjust to this new way of interacting with reality, one last, unexpected side effect begins to emerge. A new ability, a new way of perceiving the world, becomes your most reliable compass, guiding you with an almost superhuman precision. By mastering this practice and establishing yourself in this new state of being, a powerful and unexpected side effect begins to flourish. Your intuition transforms into your new vision. Before, your mind was so full of noise, of thoughts about the past and the future, of conflicting fears and desires, that it was impossible to hear the subtle voice of your inner wisdom. Now, with a quiet mind and a coherent heart, you become a perfectly tuned radio receiver, capable of picking up clear information that comes from a much larger field of consciousness. You simply know what to do. Faced with an important decision, there is no more anguish or paralyzing analysis. A clear and calm answer arises from within you. It's a feeling, a quiet certainty that guides you in the right direction. You know which path to follow, which proposal to accept, who to trust. This clarity dissolves confusion and doubt, allowing you to navigate life with a confidence and precision that, to others, may seem like luck or genius. But for you, it's simply your new normal. This heightened intuition isn't magic. It's the direct result of no longer being bound by your limited ego and conditioned mind. When you step out of the way, you open space for a higher intelligence to operate through you. You become a channel for the wisdom of the universe itself. The coincidences and synchronicities you began to notice were just the beginning. Now, You are in constant dialogue with this intelligence, receiving real-time guidance every step of the way. You no longer need to try to guess the future or control every outcome because you trust the flow. You know that by remaining centered, in your state of coherence, the next correct action will always reveal itself at the right time. This frees you from an immense burden of stress and worry. You can relax and enjoy the journey, knowing that you are being guided and supported every moment. Life ceases to be a series of problems to be solved and becomes a series of revelations to be discovered. This new intuitive insight also applies to your health and your body. You begin to instinctively know what your body needs, what food to eat, how much rest is necessary, what kind of movement would be beneficial. You become your own doctor and healer, because the communication between your consciousness and your biology becomes crystal clear. Your body tells you exactly what it needs to maintain its peak vitality, and you are able to listen and respond perfectly. This ability to know without knowing how you know is the mark of an awakened being. It is proof that you have transcended the logical mind and accessed a much more direct and holistic form of knowledge. You are no longer just thinking. You are perceiving reality directly. You are co-creating your path in real time, one step at a time, guided by an infallible inner compass. And this brings us to the conclusion of this journey, which in truth is not a conclusion, but a new and extraordinary beginning. If you've made it this far and applied these steps, you've realized that this journey doesn't have an end point. It's not a one-time event that happens and then ends. It's the beginning of a new way of being. Transformation isn't a destination. It's your new way of traveling. You've become a beacon of coherence, a point of conscious order in a world that often seems chaotic. You're no longer a leaf in the wind. You are the very force that moves the air. Your biology now operates from a new program. Instead of following a script of decline, it is in a state of continuous renewal, attuned to the blueprint of your original perfection. Your energy, once drained and scattered, is now vibrant, focused, and abundant, flowing freely from an inexhaustible source within you. And the world around you, which once seemed like a barrier, has become your canvas, a field of infinite possibilities waiting to be shaped by your intention. The great secret, the wisdom of Thoth and all the masters, was never about a magic trick or a secret formula to manipulate the universe. It was always about remembering your true nature. You are not a limited human being, a victim of time and circumstances. You are a creator, an expression of the universe itself, with the inherent power to shape reality from the silence and coherence of your inner space. The power was never outside. It was always waiting to be awakened within you. The question that guides your life now is no longer, "What will happen to me?" That's the question of the victim, of the being who feels at the mercy of the world. Your new question, the question of the creator, is, "What do I choose to create now?" Each moment becomes an opportunity to choose the frequency you wish to emit, to choose the reality you wish to experience. The responsibility is immense, but the freedom that comes with it is absolute. If you've made it this far, it's because you're no longer the same person who started this video. You felt the calling and are ready for transformation. To seal this new awareness, leave the following phrase in the comments: "I activate my silent power now." And if you feel this content has helped you in any way and you want to support the channel more directly so we can continue spreading this message to more people, there's a link in the first pinned comment where you can contribute. Any help you can give is very important to me and to the growth of this work. But understand, just the fact that you've made it to the end is already a huge help. If you can't contribute financially, you can still be a great help by sharing this video with someone you think needs to hear this message. And before you leave, your journey doesn't have to end here. I've prepared a special video for you to take the next step, to delve even deeper into everything we've discovered today. Don't leave yet. Click on the video that's appearing on the screen now and let's meet there.